So here on the 30th, let's go over QQQ. So I got this move down here on Thursday. Pretty big move down, almost 2%. And then we bounced, made a lower low, and now we bounced into the close. This is a actually very bearish structure. The reason why is this is A, B, C after already making an A wave down. So that means we're looking at this as a B wave or a second wave. We have supply zone right here. So I am expecting more downside soon after this completes. This move, though, could go all the way up to potentially 495. So it could go all the way up another basically 2% if they want to take it all the way up there. And that would invalidate this being a first wave, but it would still be a B wave. The main spot I'm looking at lower is at 476. We have a gap fill right there. And that's a daily, I think it's a daily demand zone. So overall bearish structure, I don't know what's going to come from this. That's really all I need to say right now. The bigger picture is potentially a move down to 407 or potentially a move down to like 430, 440. Or if they want to continue this move up, I guess they could bring it down here and then bring it back up here. But overall, this structure right here is bearish, short term. So at least this, at least. We're at least getting that, minimum. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it right now. I've shown you the other possibilities on higher time frames in the last video. This or this. So I don't expect this to make all-time highs anytime soon, and we'll see how it goes. So Tesla, same thing as QQQ. Into the close, so I made a video maybe around like 259 maybe, and it came all the way down here to 256. Maybe I made it right here, I'm not sure, but it's the same structure. We have a move down, we get A, B, C. So I would expect Tesla to not really go higher than 265. And if it does, then my charting is off and it's something else. Could it be some kind of expanded flat like that? Or not expanded flat, like an expanded like rising wedge slash just kind of like a wedge formation? I don't think so, but we'll see. This looks to me like the same formation as QQQ. So look for this probably to be the top, but this could go all the way to 265. They could take out the high by a little bit, hit the 1.61 fib. Overall, this looks like pretty bearish structure to me. Short term, this whole thing is not bearish structure overall, though. So I don't want to confuse people. This right here looks pretty bullish to me because after that, you could make a 5-wave move. If it was a 5-wave move and then we finished off by coming down first and we were retracing, I would say that it probably topped out 100%. But right now, you can't really say that. I can just say that it's likely we're going to get the same thing as QQQ. I can say that. If it comes all the way to 265, then it could just be like this. So right now, I'm bearish. This is the end of a B wave for one more move down at least. And you can see here, this was daily demand right here. I had orders for shares at 256 and 255, like 80. I actually hit both of them. And I've already sold most of that up here around like 259, 260. But it could go much higher. It could go to 265. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with QQQ and Tesla. Watch the video earlier if you want to see like other scenarios for the next couple of days. And deliveries are on Wednesday. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Mara. Mara filled the gap right here. So I can remove that now. But this was a 3-day supply zone right here. The next demand zone is down here at 1476. We'll find out with Mara. This one's all over the place. I just use it to track the miners. We'll go over Bitcoin here in a second too. But it's hard to say exactly where this is at. So my question is, did we finish? Or did we just start this move? Because we didn't hit my target. My target is down here at 10 or 11 bucks. So the 1.61 fib takes us there. So are we going to see one more move down like this? As far as timing goes, though, it already bottomed as far as the dates go. So potentially this was a start of a move up that's going to be much larger. We'll have to find out. I want to see this come back to this demand zone at 1476, see how it reacts. There's also a gap here at 1346, so it might go all the way down there as well. We'll see. Let's look at Super Micro. I would watch out with Super Micro. They have the split tomorrow, and it already hit the 0.6 fib. It didn't hit the supply zone though, so maybe it comes up a little bit more tomorrow. But again, I think this is probably going to be second wave. Invalidation above 484, but I'm looking for another move down here. Unless that was the fifth wave right there. But from what I see in having this monthly demand zone down here, or weekly, whatever it is, it still has room to come down here between 325 and 260. So I'm still looking for this. So we'll see what happens. Rivian. People are asking me about Rivian. So we did get a move up here. I had these, I don't know if in the last video I had these drawn up. This is a daily supply zone. You can see how the price came up here and then rejected. I sold some right here, not all my position. Like I sold like maybe 25% because I bought down in here. So on this one, let's just look at where it's at here. Maybe this is the I mean, it could have another wave down. I'm not really following as much on the waves because I know this is a great spot to buy. You can look at, sometimes I just look at the standard deviations and I look at the weekly. You can see here it's the very end of this and it's in demand. And I don't even have to follow the waves. So I'm buying here. And then on the weekly, it still has room to come down. But on the daily, it's a pretty strong buy, in my opinion. And again, I'm leaving room just in case it does fall through this weekly demand zone and comes down to the $6 level. But again, I think if that happens, it's probably going to bounce first. It's probably going to do something like that. So I don't think it is that big of a deal that it came lower today. You can just rebuy. It's back into demand here. 1122. Rebuy. But again, make sure your position size is good enough where you can average down if it ends up coming lower. That's all you got to remember. A lot of this is just like position sizing and risk management. If you do that well, you don't have to be extremely accurate. Just make sure that you have your orders set in a way that make sure you're successful no matter what. So that's my thoughts on Rivian. Maybe another move down here to like 10, 50, 11 bucks, but not a big deal. Let's see here. What else am I looking at? Let's look at BA. So BA made a lower low. I have this falling wedge potentially, but it also could just be an ABC move. with the 1.61 fib at 145. So I still think this is a B leg, and we're going to see this. And you can see here, I've had this drawn up for a while. This parallel line here, which converges right around 144. So don't be surprised if 144 comes on BA, and instead of being an expanded flat, ends up being the D wave. So, and then comes back up here. So again, this is monthly demand too. So buying here is slam dunk in my opinion. IONQ. Gone over this a few times. This is making a B wave here. It has a gap at 810. They had some good news, but I think it's going to go lower before it goes higher. I think it could come up here a little bit more over the next, let's see, couple of months, maybe 3 to 6 months. Maybe it makes it all the way up here to 14 bucks. But I think overall it's still in a B leg. So I think it's going to go lower after that, regardless of how high it goes. I think we'll see one more low on it. But right here, you can buy at 810 gap fill and potentially run it up, or maybe it goes higher tomorrow. It kind of looks like it's in a third wave to me. So, like that. So we'll see. The 1.61 fib of the A leg to the B is right around 1250, so maybe only 1250. A random one that I actually started a position on is this company right here. And I don't think it's actually finished yet, but I added some right here. It's in a monthly demand zone. It's retraced past the 0.61 fib. It could come down here to 29 bucks. I have that highlighted. But even if it does, I think it's going up here to 40 bucks at some point. So that's a 33% gain from there. And I'll show you on the weekly, it is super overextended. So monthly demand, overextended on the weekly. They have revenue growth is growing quarter over quarter. They just got a price target upgrade to like 50 bucks. So that's a new one right there. And then Symbiotic, falling a little bit today. I did a video for members the other day, and I think that this is probably a fourth wave now. I think this probably has more upside after it comes down here. There's a gap fill at 23 bucks though. Potentially all the way down here at 22 bucks, but I'd probably be buying around 23 bucks if it comes down there. Again, 35 minimum on SYM. NVDA. So NVDA hit the top here of the parallel line. I'm looking for minimum 110 on NVDA, potentially 98. I haven't looked at Apple, Microsoft, any of these stocks in a long time, so I'll look at them real quick and just see what's going on. But Apple broke the high here, so that completely gets rid of this. I had this as a first wave down. So this is probably going to end up being it's an ABC move then. Has to be an ABC move, except for the fact that this can't be broken now. And it almost did today. So if Apple goes higher, then that means it's a bigger ABC move. So it'd be A or WXY. But overall, I'm still looking for more downside on Apple. I'm looking for one more move down here before going higher. So this is not the structure that you want right here. This is not the structure you want. Again, this is the same thing I went over with Tesla and QQQ. ABC. That is not a 5-wave move structure. So Apple's just like basically just sitting up here, and eventually it's going to go, it should go like this down here. So that's another one that's not looking very good to me. Microsoft, haven't looked at that in a while. So I sold at the right spot. I sold here, and it came down. But again, another ABC move. A, lower low, C, like that. So again, looks like it's probably going to go higher the next day or so, and then probably sell off. Meta has just been grinding higher. It's respected this trend line pretty well. And I still think this is a B wave. I still think this is like an A, something like that. Same thing as Apple and same thing as the rest of them. So I don't know what we're waiting for, but I think these got to correct at some point. That's why this market's pretty frustrating right now. Like, everything's just chopping at the highs. Like, I want to see a correction so we can actually get some information about what's going on here. Like, these stocks have been going up and just chopping at the highs. Pretty boring market overall the last like month or two. Ever since this happened, or August happened, we had a nice move up here and then it got kind of boring. And then Tesla hit the target and it's been grinding higher too. So we'll see what happens. I know there's some people that think we're just going to go to all-time highs and like QQQ is going to 530 right away. I don't see it, but I'll follow the chart, so we'll see what happens. I was looking at ST Lauder yesterday, down today, but this stock has been absolutely slaughtered. And it has some gaps up here. I think this is ready to bounce. And it already has bounced a good amount. Whenever this move ends, I want to see a pullback down to here, and I'm probably in. You can see I already have an alert here at 93. I would definitely play this for a bounce. I think it can go all the way up here to 145, potentially even up here to 240 at some point. I don't know the company fundamentals, but I definitely think it can hit 145. You look at the monthly, and you'll see it's just way, way overextended. 145 doesn't even get to 2 standard deviations below the mean on the monthly time frame. So I would say 240 is a very good target. So that's one I'm looking at, not in. I looked at a bunch of stocks this weekend. Unity, I went over this on my Twitter. I think this can go all the way up here to $60 when we're all said and done with the big melt up. But I think the first target's probably going to be up here at $25, and then you're probably going to get a pullback after that. So who knows? Maybe we'll just melt up until the election at this point. They've already drawn it out enough. But you got to remember, too, the end of the quarter happened today. So we're going to find out in the next couple of days if they were just holding the market up to make themselves look better, and then they can let it go in October. October, after a run-up in September, is the best time to do this because it's already seasonally kind of weak, and they have no performance they have to worry about. If they get that out of the way in October, they can just run it up November and December into the end of the year and do well. If we hold up to the election, then we're going to have a correction after the election. So we'll see what happens. I'm betting on a big correction in October. So that's it for this video. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. Let me know if there's any stocks you want me to look at, and I will probably add them to the next video.